Most gracious Heavenly Father, we thank you for every opportunity we can call on your name and ask for your presence. And Father, we thank you that you tell us in your word that we can pray in every situation and every circumstance and for every reason. And so tonight we come asking you to be in the midst of this meeting. Lord, send your spirit here in this place. Dwell in the people who are here. Lord, guide and direct those who are in leadership as well as those who are in attendance. Lord God, we thank you so much that you sent your Son Jesus to this earth to be our Savior. And we just honor him and you tonight by invoking your presence into this place. And we pray this prayer tonight in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. All right. We have two special young men who's going to lead us in our pledge, Grayson Barnett and Jurgen Collier. If they'll come up. All right. Thank you, gentlemen. At this time, we have some special recognition. I'll call on Dr. Jason Parker.
Mr. Chair, members of the board, and Dr. Fisher, it's time for our annual treat for students who attended the North Carolina State Honors Chorus. So a little different this year. We're going to ask them to go ahead and come out on the stage behind you, and then I have some additional accolades to share with you. They are then going to sing a selection, and then we will recognize them with certificates after their song. So the North Carolina Elementary Honors Chorus is a select group of students who are chosen from across North Carolina to perform at the North Carolina Music Educator Association Conference each year in Winston-Salem. The purpose of this honors chorus is to provide students with the opportunity to develop their abilities to the greatest possible extent. This year, we had 15 students from Cleveland County Schools selected. It is important to note, however, that only 184 students from across the entire state were selected for this honor. This year, out of those 184 students, only 2 students achieved a perfect score in their audition. One of those perfect scores is Aiden Siaway from Falston. Aiden, if you'll raise your hand. Let's give Aiden a round of applause. Again, we are thrilled with the level of representation from Cleveland County Schools this year. And then students, after you sing, we'll call you down and you can get a certificate from Dr. Fisher.
Shenandoah.
Students and teachers, that was awesome. Thank you so very much. We will now recognize you by school. So when you hear your name, come forward to Dr. Fisher. He has a certificate for you. And then make your way across the board members here. You can shake their hand if you would like. And then teachers and students, if you would wait to my left, and then Mr. Terry will come up and get a group photo when we're finished. First of all, from Kaiser Elementary, the teacher there is Maria Lovelace, and the student is Ellie Barnett. Miss Lovelace has double duty over at Union, and her honor student there is Liliana Porter. From Falston Elementary, teacher there is Miss Susan Fogelman. We have students Savannah Robinson and Aiden Siaway. From Kings Mountain Intermediate, that teacher is Miss Angie Costner. And the students from KMIS are Eva Eccles, Caroline Kirkendall, Raven LeBoy, Maura Mahoney, Madeline Morissette, Leah Reed, and Rebecca Welsh. From North Elementary, that teacher is Miss Tracy Adderholt. And representing North Elementary tonight is Brody Shaver. From West Elementary, we have teacher Mrs. Casey Vess. And then Abigail Roop. Okay. From James Love Elementary, we have teacher Ashley Smith. And then representing James Love tonight is Liliana Hopper. Last but not least, we have Jefferson Elementary. The teacher there is Dr. Ricky Austin, who is under the weather tonight, but we have student Milo Bogan. And again, board members, I want to especially thank our teachers. We do not pay them extra for all of this. They have to hit the ground running at the beginning of each school year, and they do a marvelous job each and every year. So if we could give our teachers a round of applause for their great job. And then boys and girls and teachers, if you wouldn't mind coming to the front here, we'll get you positioned for a photo, and Mr. Terry will take care of that.
Congratulations again. I don't know how they held that last note so long. I was like, my goodness, but that was excellent.
We have a second recognition tonight from Elementary Ed. This is our second year of completing our rebranded elementary math competition entitled Cleveland Calculates. I do want to take a moment to give a special thanks to our friends over at Albemarle Kings Mountain, as well as the Cleveland County Educational Foundation, who help us financially with this event. So tonight, we're pleased to recognize our top 3 teams. And board members, I do want to let you know that we increased the rigor greatly in this competition when we rebranded it. So I feel like this definitely lines up with your goal of STEM and developing and promoting and growing innovative academic programs within our school system. There are math problems on here that stump the adults in the room too. So we have tremendous mathematicians in elementary. So we'll start by recognizing our third place team. Dr. Fisher has a trophy for them, and he also has money for them from the Cleveland County Educational Foundation. So third place, taking home a $200 check, is the Township 3 Rams, or excuse me, the Township 3 Fraction Flock. I have to get their name right. We have Coach Chris Huffstetler coming down, also co-coached by Kaylee Waycaster. And then I'll just read off the team names, and they can come for a photo. We've got Madison Fry, Esteban Maladown Lopez, Anaya Smith, Kingston Smith, Evan Vinson, and Jeffrey Zavala Mendoza. Congratulations to the Fraction Flock from Township 3. It was a close competition this year. Our second place winner is from Jefferson Elementary, the Jefferson Bees. The coach there is Miss Mary Beth Patton, and the honorary / voluntold coach is her husband, Ron Patton. Those student names are Brinley Arrowwood, Blakely Beam, Maddie Carpenter, Molly Hayes, Jaden Hernandez, and Parker Mann. And thanks to the Cleveland County Educational Foundation, they are taking home $300. Let's give our Jefferson Bees a round of applause.
Yeah, I've been voluntold too.
If y'all could slide over this way just a little bit. Yeah. That's good.
And our first place winner this year is from Boiling Springs Elementary. We have the BSE Brainiacs, coached by Miss Heather Bryson. Those student names are Mia Blanton, Jaden Bowen, Elijah Bruzis, Abraham Etheridge, Malachi Lawrence, and Jake Tesnier.
Good job, good job. Congratulations, congratulations.
And because we rebranded the competition, we added a round, and that's called the Mathlete round. It is a sudden death competition, and it takes place right here with buzzers. It is tense. I would be curious if the gentleman holding the trophy, who is a former math teacher, could beat this student. We have a future mathematician on our hands. The top mathlete from Cleveland County Schools Elementary this year is none other than from Township 3 Elementary, Mr. Evan Vinson. And Evan is taking home $100 from the Albemarle Corporation, Kings Mountain.
See Rhonda Benfield? All right. At this time, I'll call on Miss Rhonda Benfield to introduce a CTE intern.
Good evening. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, Dr. Fisher. We appreciate the opportunity to highlight our CTE internship program. The program began 4 years ago with just 5 students, and we are just right there at about to reach 200 students who've completed an internship, and we've had 100 new business partners to work with us so graciously, and our interns as well. I want to thank Ms. Courtney Doster. She's here tonight. She coordinates our internship program. She's our work-based learning coordinator. And I would introduce to you one of our CTE interns, Sincere Pettis. He is a senior at Shelby High School. We've had the opportunity to watch Sincere grow and mature since he was in the 9th grade, take advantage of every opportunity that comes his way, most recently being the internship. He recently gave his final presentation. You all are always welcome to attend those final presentations. I know it's difficult to get to all of those, but we wanted to bring Sincere tonight to share with you a little bit. He has a good story and a great experience. And with that, I won't steal any more of his thunder, and I'll bring him up. Sincere, if you'll come on up.
First things first, I just want to say thank you for having me here tonight so I can share my story about my internship experience. And overall, I just hope that, this can shine a spot on internships and just overall just, shine a light on things that need to be had. And first things first, my name is Sincere Pettis, and I attend Shelby High School, and I will be talking about my drone internship at Shelby High School and Gardner Webb. Now, to make things and to give a little bit of to give myself a little bit of context about myself, first things first, I come from a background to where, I come from nothing, and thanks to this internship experience, I've been able to just have a whole lot of great things happen in my life, and just a whole lot of great things happen for me in the future. Now, my background, which I loved video games as a kid, and fortunately, I've been the 2-time North Carolina state champion in esports. And with video games, I've been able to figure out about drones actually through that. And about my credentialing, getting it in the 10th grade, first things first, I had to get my trust, which is a certificate that certifies that the person knows about the drones and also knows how a drone operates. And in the 11th grade, I went down to Charlotte, North Carolina at the Charlotte Complex Airport to take my 107 test, which I passed, being one of the first people in the state to actually get it. And right here, with all the skills that I have and all the interest that I have that's listed above with drones, it just helped me, just helped me find my love. Of course, I loved football and I love video games, and with the drones, I've been able to mix together the best of both with this program, of course. Now, working at Shelby High is a little bit different compared to working at Gardner Webb. At Shelby High, first things first, I had to work by myself. There really wasn't too much help around me, but I've been able to get through it with the coaches and stuff like that. And also with Shelby High, it also had great benefits, like being able to go to the football games. And fortunately, we won a state championship, which I'll be able to receive a ring for that. But overall, at Shelby High School, just being able to go out there every day, filming with the football team, and just overall just being a part of something that I was never a part of before after that. Now, working at Gardner Webb has been a little bit different because at Gardner Webb, they have a scheduled program. There's actually people there to help there. There's actually multiple drones that are flying at the same time to help film different sides of the practices. But also at Gardner Webb, they actually have a script that you have to actually read off of. So now it's more of a scheduled program. And working at a Division I college has definitely been just one of a great experience that I have in front of my life there. And also at Gardner Webb, I've been able to meet NFL scouts, which is actually people that actually work for the NFL. And with those NFL communications, right now I've took it into myself to be proactive. And right now I'm pursuing a potential internship with the Carolina Panthers. So hopefully that can go well in the future, and maybe you can see me on TV sometime. And overall, I just want to highlight, the great internship lady I have in Ms. Doster that actually gave me this great opportunity. And second, I want to get all the glory to God. Without him, he wouldn't be able to, I wouldn't be able to even have any other stuff. And overall, I just want to say thank you to the board for actually, believing in kids like me, as a person that has came from nothing, Southside Richmond, moving out here and just getting a great opportunity. I just love everything that y'all do here at the board, but also what y'all do for students across Cleveland County. I want to say thank you for that. And of course, last things last, what I do want to mention is that hopefully with this presentation today, I can shine a light on more internships being available and people getting contacts with more businesses, because clearly if an internship can have an effect like this on my life, clearly there's another kid out there that is as hungry as me that also wants to be able to do something with their life also. I want to say thank you for having me here today, and if y'all have any questions, just go ahead and feel free to ask.
Anybody have any questions for him?
I'm going to be looking for you on TV.
Yes, ma'am. Well, since you have no questions, I just want to say God bless.
Hey, the
and-
sky's the limit for you.
You
Congratulations.
show a great sense of professionalism already to be so young, and that's striking.
Yes,
So-
sir. Yes, sir. And honestly, that actually means a lot, which my professionalism, I actually want to give credit to my grade 2 grandparents in the back,
You did a good
them,
job.
them absolutely, pushing me to do the most, and me shining them lights on things that they never seen before, and them just believing me in general. I just want to say thank God for putting 2 great grandparents inside of my life. And overall, clearly it played out to be the best.
Congratulations to you and good luck.
Thank you. Y'all have a blessed day. Thank you. Thank you.
All righty. Next on the agenda is the adoption of the agenda. Do I hear a motion to adopt the agenda as presented?
I make a motion.
I heard Mr. Bridges and then Mr. Humphrey. All those in favor? Mr. Blanton, was you, yeah, okay, that's 8-0. Approval of the minutes from December the 28th. We got 2 sets, one from the regular meeting and then the approval of the closed session. Do I have a,
I got a question about the minutes.
okay, let me, go ahead.
My question is, I'm sort of hard of hearing, don't see well neither, but I see something that must be missing from the minutes or it wasn't added to the minutes. So I'll just ask the board, did we vote to allow a person to go to the media and speak? Does anybody remember of that? I don't remember it.
No, so what's your,
Well, we had one of our board members to go,
Mr. Blanton, this is about the minutes.
that's exactly right. And that's
Okay.
the reason I can bring it up now, because it's not on the minutes.
It wasn't discussed.
It wasn't discussed. Well, how do you get something brought up then? When it wasn't on the minutes?
Well, if it's
And
not
I-
on the
and-
agenda, the number one way is call me or the superintendent. And there's another way. You can make a motion and someone can second it and the board vote.
All
to
right,
have a
I'll make a
discussion.
motion.
You do that prior
Well, every
to,
time I ask to adopt the agenda, it gets voted down.
Well,
And
that-
I did speak with our attorney about it.
okay? I'm just trying to follow Robert rules. I'm not trying to be argumentative with you.
Yes.
I'm just trying to
Right.
follow the rules, okay?
Okay, I'll bring it back up then in my board members' things.
Okay.
I'll
All right.
bring it back up then.
Any other discussion on the board minutes as presented? All right. All those in favor? Yes. Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. I do need a motion. I apologize. Mr. Bridges, and I need a second. All right, Mr. Umpus. Now, all those in favor, would you raise your hand? All those opposed? That's 7-1. All right. Finance and Personnel. Committee report, Mr. Bridges.
The January 7th Finance and Personnel Committee meeting was called to order by Committee Chair Aaron Bridges. Rob McDaniel shared a budget update. Mr. McDaniel shared that we are currently 6 months into our budget year, but we still do not have a state budget. He reminded the committee that our budget allotment is based on a 2-month ADM of the previous year. Our month 2 ADM this year is down around 100 students, which will impact our budget next year by about $1 million. The committee discussed the budget situation. Mr. McDaniel reminded the committee that the 071 state bonus supplements will be paid to teachers in January. Mr. Vince Quinn from Anderson Smith and White PLLC shared a presentation on the recent audit he completed. The audit was excellent with no findings or recommendations. Dr. Valerie O'Kelly, Eric Lamanna, and Dr. Jennifer Wampler shared information related to teacher recruitment efforts. Dr. Wampler shared information related to employees and reasons for separations of employment during 2025. Dr. Wampler shared information related to teacher performance bonuses for student growth in 2025. These bonuses will be paid to eligible teachers in January 2026 checks. The committee discussed the information shared. With no new business, the meeting was adjourned, and the next Finance and Personnel Committee meeting is scheduled for Wednesday, January 28th, 2026 at 11:45 a.m.
Thank you, Mr. Bridges. Next is the personnel report. I will need a motion and a second. Mr. Bridges makes the motion to approve the personnel.
I have a question on that.
Okay, let me get a second. Second on Mr. Humphreys and Mr. Blanton.
On the personnel report,
Yes, sir.
I noticed on it, when I pulled it up, that we had 21 resignations.
Okay.
And are we thoroughly checking out why our staff is resigning on us? Because we need every person that we could keep, and our recruitment. There's 21 resignations, about 8 or 9, plus or minus 1 or 2, retired. Did they retire because they wanted to? Or they had their years in? Or they was fed up with what we were doing? So I think we need answers on that.
All right. Mr. Bridges,
you very
if you
much.
take note of that, please.
Well, we actually just had that discussion in our meeting this past week. So there was a chart and there was information provided in the meeting. I'd be happy to forward that to you. But we just had that discussion.
Well, we need that before a meeting takes place, that discussion, exactly what took place. That's the reason I question about minutes and stuff. when we have our committee meetings, you don't know what we do in our committee, I don't know what you do in your committee. And every one of us board members has brought this up one time or another, and I'm not gonna back down. In other words, I think we need to do away with these committees and start bringing it out here to the public.
Okay, all right.
Thank
We're gonna move on. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor? That's, all those opposed? That's 7-1.
I have a comment to make.
On personnel?
Yes.
Okay.
I wish every one of you could have heard this gentleman talk at our committee meeting that we had. In my 27 years that I have served on the Board of Education, this is the first time that I have ever heard an auditor say that there were no recommendations. Now, ladies and gentlemen, that speaks for our finance department. I commend Rob and I commend all of his department. I did that in committee meeting and I'll do it in main board meeting. But I wish you could have heard what was said by this gentleman. He did an excellent job. We used to have this, not necessarily this company, but we used to have the auditor come before the entire board. But this is the very first time in my 27 years that I have ever heard an excellent report as this. So, Rob, thank you very much. You're to be commended. Please commend your staff, and we thank them very much. Keep up the excellent work.
I'd like to say one more thing.
All right. Concerning finance and personnel?
Yeah. That is a very good example that I've been on here, say 13, 14 years, that auditor used to come to the whole board and give us that report. That is a very good example, just what Mr. Ledford got through saying, that the whole board, for something to the gratitude of our audit for the whole school system, should come before the whole board instead of just one or two hearing it. So, thank you.
All right. Safety and operations, Mr. Blanton.
I've chaired the safety and operations this month. January the 5th, the safety and operations meeting was called to order by committee leader Danny Blanton, Daniel Hale, Rodney Borders, shared what we have 2 new SROs starting today due to the retirement and staffing changes. David Pless shared the clear bag policy for athletic events is in effort now. It has gone okay at the schools that have had games in the new year. Dr. Fisher shared that Dr. Anita Ware has retired from Turning Point Academy, and Dr. Tara Beam has been appointed to interim principal for the remainder of the school year. There were no agency reports. Dr. Jennifer Wantner and Chip Childers shared the capital project report. This report will be shared with the full board as an information item at their January meeting. Dr. Wantner and Mr. Childers and Daniel Sherman shared information related to a project continuation and update the committee on the progress of the recent projects. Mr. Childers shared that we plan to bring bids to the board for the chiller replacement project at Bowling Springs Elementary. The bids for this project are to be submitted on the January 8th, which is after the committee meeting. So the bids will be brought to the full board for consideration and approval at the January meeting. Related to the driver's education and the state were shared. I was the one that shared that. I have discussed that. They're trying to get our driver's education straightened out here in this county for our children. With no additional business, the meeting was adjourned. The next safety and operations meeting is scheduled for Monday, January the 26th, 2026, at 11:45 a.m. in staff development. I'd like to go back to that driver's education. See, there's where the minutes was not accurate, because I discussed that entirely of what was taking place on the driver's education. And, our legislators are working for us to try to get something in place with Mr. Pless and everything. So, thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Blanton. Next is, Ms. Wampler, do you have some bid information on those boilers that Mr. Blanton spoke about?
You should have the bid sheet for the Bowling Springs Elementary chiller replacement, and you can see the bids that we have received and the information that's shared there. This is one that we bring to you at this point because this will be a summer project, but it'll take about 20 weeks for those chillers to arrive.
All right. One,
It's in the meeting.
it's in this, in your notes.
You can see this will be paid for using the R&R funds from the state. You can see the 4 bids that we received. It's our recommendation we accept the lowest bid and that we do a contingency of 5%, making the project total cost $309,000.
Okay. Y'all have heard from staff. Do I have a motion
Make a motion.
to adopt and be specific on
I'll make a
which,
motion to approve the recommended company for the bid.
what's that company? And how
Fuller
much?
Masters Incorporated for $294,000 with a 5% contingency for $309,000 total.
Okay. All right.
I got a
All
question.
right, 1 second. And a second by Mr. Humphrey. All right, question.
The question is, I thought we didn't tell about the contingency until everything is done. We're telling it right here that we're accepting the 294,000 bid and the 15,000 contingency. So they know that we're approving $309,000. I thought we'd done had that discussion in our meetings that we didn't let that out, what our contingency was.
Not during the bid process. They're not told when they're bidding what contingency we'll add.
All right, they bid that. Now they know that we got $15,000 more laying there that they could see something else and add to it.
Not just something random. It would have to be related to connectivity and existing piping as it is listed.
Okay.
There is, just to kind of clear this up, there's nothing we're trying to keep secret. We have to bid on it, and the board has to bid on the contingency. So there's no way of keeping it secret. It's, as she said, the bid process is the bid process. We don't say, put your bid in and we're going to give 5-10%, but.
And as we shared in committee, we often don't use all of the contingency
Right.
because you don't need it.
Right. So, anyway, all right. Yes.
Have we used these people before?
We have not used them before.
Have we checked credentials and everything?
We have. And this one, this project, we used a mechanical engineer to help do the drawings and things for this project, and they know of that company and highly recommend them. I don't know if you have anything to add.
Well, right here's our sheet that we had that they gave us out. And I will say that the companies, none of them used all of the contingency, but most of what we did that's been done and approved, a lot of contingency was used. Not all, but some. But that's what I'm getting at. When they know that that money's laying there, you can bet a lot of people, they greedy when it comes to a dollar.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Blanton. I have a motion and a second for the company that Mr. Bridges. All in favor of that? That's 8-0. All right, thank you, Ms. Wampler. Dr. Wampler, I apologize. All right. Next is Education and Policy. Ms. Sherman, are you doing that? Okay.
The January 6th Educational Programs and Policy Committee meeting was called to order by Committee Chair Ron Humphreys. Dr. Stephen Fisher reminded the committee that 2 policies with legal updates based on recent legislation are up for a second read and approval at their January meeting. Those policies are 3220, Technology in the Educational Program, and 3226-4205 internet safety. The committee had no questions or concerns. Dr. Fisher shared 5 policies that had legal reference updates. The policies do not have any changes to the text of the policy, but do update the legal references as recommended by the North Carolina School Board Association. The changes were reviewed by the committee and approved for updating. Since no changes are being recommended or made to the text of the policy, these updates do not require full board approval. Dr. Fisher and Dr. Brian Hunnell shared rough drafts to Policy 3460, Graduation Requirements, and Policy 3460-R, Promotion and Graduation Requirements. As part of these policy updates, Policy 3460-E, Early Graduation Application, is being replaced with School-Based Applications and is no longer needed. The committee discussed and supported these changes. These policies will come back to the committee at their next meeting as a final draft and then will go to the full board for a first reading at their February meeting. As part of the normal review of policies, 8 policies in the 7,000 section, personnel, were reviewed. These policies were Policy 7270, School Safety, Policy 7270-R, Fire Prevention, Policy 7271, Injury and Loss Prevention, Policy 7272, Service Animals in Schools, Policy 7272-R1, Service Animal Procedures, Policy 7272-R2, Requests for the Use of Service Animal, Policy 7272-R3, Service Animal Registration Agreement, and Policy 7275, Weapons and Explosives Prohibited. No changes were recommended to these policies. Dr. Hunnell shared some updates from the Education and Instructional Department as a result of Dr. Ware's retirement. Ginger Jackson shared a Microsoft Enterprise enrollment for Education Solutions renewal quote that was presented for approval in the annual amount of $95,227.40 for a 3-year agreement. The EES agreement provides district-wide licensing and access to Microsoft software and services. This quote was the lowest of 4 proposals received. The committee reviewed the proposal and supported the renewal. The agreement will be presented to the board for approval at the January meeting. Stephanie Henson shared a contract for medical staffing based on a student need, which is not to exceed $64,350. Mrs. Henson also shared an amendment to the Stepping Stone contract for the 25-26 school year for the use of additional speech pathology services in the amount of $59,280. These contracts do not require board approval due to being under $75,000, but are shared as informational items. Dr. Fisher shared the recommendation to submit a restart application for Elizabeth Elementary. Dr. Fisher shared the benefits of being designated a restart school, which provides charter-like flexibility in calendar, staffing, and funding. The committee supported the recommendation, and it will be added to the board's January agenda. Dr. Hunnell and Dr. Chris Bennett shared a testing and accountability update from first semester testing data. The committee discussed the data and the good progress being made by high schools. Dr. Hunnell cited the good work being implemented through the lead teacher model in these areas. Dr. Jennifer Wampler shared information related to teacher bonuses that will be paid to select AP teachers, CTE teachers, 3rd through 5th grade reading teachers, and 4th through 8th grade math teachers in January of 2026 for student growth and performance. Specifically, 111 teachers will receive bonuses totaling $295,480. With no additional new business, the meeting was adjourned, and the next Educational and Policy Committee meeting is scheduled for Tuesday, January 27th, 2026 at 11:30 a.m.
Thank you, Ms. Sherman. Next is policies for approval. Those two policies are policies 3220, technology in the educational program, and policy 3226, 4205, internet safety. Both those come from committee. Any questions?
Not on the policies, but I got
Okay.
something on the other part,
What other part?
the restart.
Hold
Okay.
that. All right, all in favor? That's 8-0. All right, next is the Microsoft EES renewal and Elizabeth Elementary restart application. That does come from committee. You have a question?
Yes. Should a school, when it's going to restart, that's getting sort of into the low performing in that category. Shouldn't that be discussed, that we have a meeting and we have to discuss that to let us know what's really going on for the state to take over and on a restart? Shouldn't that be before the whole board make that decision instead of three people? I'm not throwing off on the three people, but item of the restart and a school in that position, I think the whole board should know about that, really and truly.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to say, this has been in your information that was sent,
But
and you had time to ask questions.
That's sort of like, I got a packet too, and we didn't get one, on the sale of that school. We didn't get a packet,
Yeah,
and
we did.
then at home, that's right, we didn't. And at my home, I cannot pull up anything on my iPad. I have to wait till I get here to do it, basically for me to find things. I don't know if I'm just in a bad spot. I don't have that, so I have to wait I can't read. Now, since we changed to this new, from board docs to this here, I cannot pull up anything basically till I get home unless I go to somebody else's house.
Yes. Okay, go
Mr.
ahead.
Chair, is there any way we could have Dr. Fisher come up and explain this restart? Because, I was on that committee, and I think it might be valuable to go ahead and discuss some of it now, if you could.
All right. Mr. Fisher, do you?
Like I say, I'm not throwing off their decision.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. This recommendation for potential restart, as explained to the committee, has nothing really to do with low performing at all. The school in question is not a low performing school. The school in question has done an excellent job, and we do not anticipate that school being low performing. The things that are happening at that school meet the standards in which we need to want to see in terms of curriculum instruction. I was there at that school twice last week and really saw good things going on. However, this is an opportunity for that school that they still are eligible to apply for restart status. And so we would like to recommend take advantage of that while we can. That application is due at the end of January. Quite honestly, as I explained to the committee, there's still some question or not of whether we want to do that or not. But if we don't get board approval to move forward with that, then we lose that opportunity, because I do not anticipate that particular school to go back to low performing status, then we'll lose that forever. Restart status is something that, a restart light status is something that we've written a proposal for the entire district, to be able to have additional flexibility in some of our funding categories and some of the things that we could do at Restart that you can't do in traditional school. It is unique in the state of North Carolina that sometimes low performing, you get additional flexibilities, which again, doesn't make a lot of sense. You would think high performing schools would have additional flexibilities. But this is an opportunity for us at this particular school to potentially have additional flexibilities, and that they are doing well. They are achieving. That school was a C school last year, really has done some remarkable things in the last 3 years. That school has been open for 3 years in its current grade level. configuration. So we're really proud of the work that's being done there. We believe the restart status will enhance that. If we have the opportunity to go restart status with all of our schools and get some of that flexibility, especially at the elementary school, we would advocate for that because it does enable our staff and enables the staff at the school to do some things that potentially we can't do at a particular school. And I could go into a full, dissertation about why that would be advantageous and why that would work for schools. We're asking the board tonight to give us the approval that if we choose to submit that application by the end of the month, we have board approval to do that. Again, we're still working with our team. We're working with Dr. Parker. We're working with Dr. Wampler, Dr. Hunnell, and the school administration to say, is this something we want to do? And if we want to do it, make sure we write that plan in an appropriate way. I'll highlight this school's success. I'll also highlight the success of some of our other restart schools, especially Washington. We're able to do some unique things in those schools to help our students and staff.
Yes.
Okay, so by it going to a restart school, am I understanding that that would give us more flexibility, that we could hire more teachers to help those children out by it being a restart school?
Well, I don't know that it gives you the flexibility to hire more teachers. You only get
Or smaller groups?
you only get the money that you get. What it does is allow you to better utilize those funds you can get without having to navigate the maze of how schools are funded in North Carolina. So we're able to use, instead of monies being designated in this pocket, we can use monies in a different pocket. And so it gives us some flexibilities that we can't do. One of the things that we've been able to do at our restart schools that we're not able to do at other schools are things like pay bonuses for those teachers out of restart funds. We have performance bonuses for those teachers out of restart funds, and we're only able to do that at restart schools. One of the other things that's unique to the restart schools at the elementary level is we have lead teachers. And that lead teacher model, we were in two schools today, and we saw good examples of lead teachers. And in one of the schools, lead teachers, we don't have a lead teacher in every grade level, and we see the difference of the lead teacher working in this grade level, but we really want a lead teacher and need a lead teacher in the other grade level. So as we do restart, as we get flexibility with our funds, in theory, you could roll some of those funds and hire other teachers, but what it allows you to do is maybe be more selective in your teachers, recruit other teachers, and do some other things that you normally can't do because of the constraints of the North Carolina public financial system.
But, so it does not have anything to do with our scores, our report cards, or anything?
I didn't say that. It does have something to do. It just doesn't have, in this
Okay.
particular situation, it doesn't, because Elizabeth is not a low-performing school. So you do have to be or have been a low-performing school. So if you have been that in the past, you have a window that continue to apply.
Okay.
That window at this particular school is getting ready to close because of the academic achievement that we've seen at that school. So if we don't do that at this point, most likely, I firmly believe that we will forevermore lose that ability to do that. And if that happens, and that's the desire of the board, then that's okay. We just, we can't go back and say, well, boy, I wish we had that flexibility. Well, you had the opportunity, but we passed up on it. This is an opportunity to say, you know what, let's take it. And then we don't have to use a flexibility. With Restart, there is lots of flexibility that we could do and lots of flexibilities that districts across the state do that we don't do because we don't believe that's best practice. So we really fine-tune the flexibilities we have based on the needs of those schools and based on the direction we want to do in Cleveland
Well,
County.
let me see if I can clear up what you're saying in basically layman's terms. Thankfully, we had 9 schools year before last that were underperforming. We got that on down to 2. We had 7 to raise it up, and then we have 2. If those 2 schools come up this year, we will still have a window for those 2 schools to apply for Restart for 2 and 3 years because at one time they were low performing.
Well, they are a Restart, so we
Right.
would.
We would continue even if they come up.
Absolutely.
So that doesn't mean that at one time they were, but if these 2 schools, if next year we don't have any low-performing schools, we still have a window to apply for restart for those that were in the past.
Well, if it's better for our staff and our kids, I'm all for it.
Well, we've been paying
Without a
teachers-
shadow of a doubt.
We've been paying teachers bonuses.
And, so, it's not that I'm wanting to take away, but I just want the people to understand exactly what's taking place. But if it's better for our staff and our children, that's what I'm all about.
We believe it is, Mr.
Thank
Wayne.
you. Sure.
Just one point of clarity. I think I've understood Mr. Blanton to equate restart with the state taking over the school. Did I?
Yeah.
That's not the case. Okay.
That's,
So-
they're not associated.
Well, it's a
with it.
certain degree they're taking it over, because if you go under the charter, we're going by, a lot by their guidelines, are we not? Then what's the use of we doing it then?
Well, the charter, you're talking about several different topics. You're talking about restart, you're talking about charter, and you're talking about state taking over the schools. The state taking over the schools, they've only done that once or twice, and that's proved to be, extremely unsuccessful at the state level, so they're really not even looking at that anymore. The restart status gives you some charter-like flexibilities, and I would be cautious in saying that, because it is not a charter school, but it does give you charter-like flexibilities, meaning you can move your monies around, meaning that you are immune to some of the laws that are out there because you have charter-like flexibility. I would also warn anybody from looking and taking the restart processes that Dr. Parker and Dr. Hunnell and his team have put in here at Cleveland County Schools and comparing those to a restart process across the state, because we are very pointed and very specific in what we're doing with restart. And that's why we've seen success as a restart school, where we don't paint with a broad brush and do lots of stuff that you see across the state. But it's not a charter school. It really has nothing to do with state takeover. Those are very different pieces. The restart gives you charter-like flexibility in the ability to run your school in what we would consider a little more an efficient and effective manner.
Well, by my understanding, then we're fixing to have a workshop. I think, I've sort of been misled then for 13 or 14 years, about this restart thing. So I believe that during our work session, that I need to get a little education.
Well, and the restart hadn't been around 13, 14 years, but in I will tell you, our work session is pretty full. If you looked at the agenda, it's very full, but we've got a spring work session. So we will include that on the agenda, the spring work session, if that's okay with the board. We got a pretty packed agenda, here in a couple of weeks.
Well, I think that the main thing I'm hearing from him, he was concerned about state takeover. That's not happening. It is best for our teachers and our kids to do it. So, and it's not saying they're underperforming. I think that was his concerns. Am I correct?
Well, that's the biggest part of it.
Okay,
Yes.
and those concerns were answered. That's not the case.
Well, I've been misled or
Okay.
misguided then,
Well,
for a lot of times,
All
so, and if I've been misled, misguided, and I've spoke wrong, I'll apologize for that. But, so I'm gonna get some answers on it before, if Lord will just let me live.
Okay. All right, now we're going to move on. We're going to take a vote on this. Are
All
you
right.
ready to go?
I'm ready.
All
Mr.
right.
Chairman- Mr. Chairman, if I could add one thing, just real quickly, please, is that the approval tonight we're asking for is the board to give us the opportunity and permission to do
It
that.
don't mean we got it.
Yes, sir, that's correct.
We're doing both.
They're either already restart, or they're not eligible.
Okay,
And so this particular school is eligible, but our middle schools that came out of low performing are not eligible because they were only in that low performing designation for 1 year, so they're not eligible.
so it's only elementary.
No, sir, it's not only elementary, it could be middle or high school, but the middle schools were only low performing for 1 year, and so they're not eligible. So you'd had to have that board, so that if we had more schools eligible, we would do that.
Okay.
We've got 3 schools that are restart, and we just re-upped on their 5-year plan.
In other words, they gotta have multiple years.
You've got to have, there's several data pieces there that you've got to have, and the other low-performing schools from the previous years don't have all those data pieces.
All right, on these contracts, excuse me, Mr. Chairman, on these contracts, for several $1,000s that come before this, should this not also come before finance?
The contracts? No, we've not done that in the past because they are instructional contracts. The policy says if a contract is above $75,000, it comes to the
Understand
board.
that.
So what we try to do is drive that contract into the area of most likeness, if you will. So this technology, instructional technology is a curriculum instruction issue.
Yeah, you're looking at,
So we try to drive that. If not, what do you end up is you take things to multiple committees, and then it gets confusing of where it came from and those type of things. That's why we put all that information on the board. We could, on the Friday update, we include all those reports there, so everybody's got aware of that. But we're just used to taking that to one of the committee. By the time before that contract goes to any of the committees, it has been pre-approved by Ms. McDaniel, his office, to say there is money there and we have the appropriate funds to do that. So it's not necessarily a financial issue, it becomes an instructional issue.
okay.
All right. So, yes,
I'd just like to say, I'm on the Educational Programs and Policy Committee report in the meetings, and I want to encourage Mr. Blanton, Mr. Ledford, anybody, when these minutes come out after our meetings, contact me, or I'm sure Mr. Grigg would, and Mr. Humphreys, call me, email me, because we can get these things answered and direct to you. Don't hesitate. Call me anytime with any questions isn't that the process that we're,
yes, ma'am.
okay, all right, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Sherman. All right. Right now, with any more questions? All right, we're voting on the Microsoft and the restart, both, okay? Everybody understand? All right, all those in favor? All right, that's 8-0. All right. Next, Dr. Fisher, you shouldn't have went and sat down.
I don't think you really cared about what I wanted to say. You just wanted me to stay up here and talk a little more. I understand. You didn't have any questions. I do have a couple updates. You've got a copy of this at your spot. I would like to highlight, first bullet there, high school exams are complete. We may have a few stragglers, retests. We probably completed most of those. I just want to say a huge thank you and congratulations to our high schools, our high school principals, assistant principals, teachers, guidance counselors, front office staff, custodians, everybody at those high schools have done a really good job of mid-year testing. I was out doing a high school visit earlier last week, and that hall shut down for some retesting this week still. Just a really good effort in terms of our high schools of what they were doing. It's the first year we've done retesting. Educational Programs Committee saw a little snapshot of some data that was really good. We feel really good about our data. I think we're roughly, look at the full year of high school testing, we're a little more than a third, between a third and 40% finished with that testing. So we still got a lot of testing to go, still got a lot of things to do in the spring and moving forward, but we're really encouraged by the work that's going on in our high schools. Really appreciate the collective effort of everybody there. We'll share with a little more about that data at your work session at the end of the month. So just wanted to mention that and thank our high school folks for doing those things this year. I mentioned last month, January 6th, was our day to back to school, so we started last Tuesday. Almost a week ago, that began second semester. It's really hard to believe that we're already second semester. Dr. Parker sends out a weekly update to his elementary principals, and on there he always says, we got 60% of the year left, and I think the last update I saw was like 45% of the year left, so it really resonates when you get here in the second semester, and the spring, the winter is going to finish in the spring. You've got a couple of Board of Education events there between committee meetings and board meetings. I do want to highlight a couple things. First, Spelling Bee is Thursday, February 12th at 10 o'clock, Shelby Middle School. It's a great event. Again, you saw the mathematicians that were highlighted here today to get the opportunities for students to spell some really unique and challenging words there. So that's a great opportunity. We'll have a teacher citizen appreciation banquet on Thursday, February 19th. Those of you may remember years and years ago, Mr. Blanton, you may be the only one on the board. Ms. Sherman, you probably remember as principal, Mr. Ledford, years ago when you were on the board, we had the TA dinner in the spring. We're going to bring that back. It's been many years since we've done that, so that's February 19th. You're invited to do that. We've got a couple other things. The last two things I'll address is there beginning of March. We'll get back into the elementary cycle of cultivating excellence. The My Home Library Project celebration is on March 2nd. It's at 9 o'clock at Bowling Springs Elementary. You won't want to miss that opportunity to celebrate the My Home Library Project. This year, last year was first and second grade. This year it's first, second, and third grade. That we'll send a backpack full of books to students. So that'll be a really good celebration. And then our elementary book competition is Tuesday, March 3rd here at Central Services. I'll send you some more detailed information when those plans firm up, but usually the awards program is about 12:30, sometime around there. So it's a great day to celebrate literacy. That is Literacy Awareness Week, Dr. Seuss's birthday week, so there'll be lots of things going on that first week of March that emphasizes reading literacy across the district. So, Mr. Chairman, I'll be glad to try to answer any questions the board may have.
Any questions? Thank you, Dr. Fisher. All right.
We're going to student transfer, we'll need it back.
Excuse me?
Student transfer.
Oh, that's just on here. We don't, it's not for us to discuss right. Next is public participation. Mr. Bridges, would you read our rules, please?
Public comment should not address any specific confidential student or personnel matter. Specific concerns related to confidential student or personnel matters should be directed to the superintendent or designee. Comments must be relevant to matters that are within the authority of the board. Speakers shall refrain from personal attacks or threats directed towards staff, elected board members, or members of the public. Speakers shall be courteous in their language and presentations. Insults, profanity, use of vulgar language or gestures or other inappropriate behaviors are not allowed. The board vests in its chair or other presiding officers authority to terminate the remarks of any individual when he or she does not adhere to the rules established above. Any person who willfully interrupts or disrupts a board meeting may be directed to leave the meeting by the presiding officer. Any person who refuses to leave may be prosecuted for disrupting a public meeting. Persons appearing before the board are reminded as a point of information that members of the Cleveland County Board of Education are without authority to act independently as individuals in official matters. Immediate answers are not generally possible and must be deferred pending investigation and consideration by the full board.
Thank you, Mr. Bridges. The first sheet I have is Mr. Rob Powell.
Mr. Chair and members of the board, my name is Rod Powell. I'm a Cleveland County resident, and I am a retired public school history teacher, high school, and I am a member of the NAACP. Now, I want to choose my words carefully here. I'm not speaking for the NAACP. I'm speaking for myself as someone who listens at these meetings and listens in the community. One concern that I keep hearing, and one that I share tonight, is a quiet drift towards sanitizing American history in high school. Now, it doesn't show up as a big policy vote. It shows up in what gets softened, what gets skipped, and what teachers feel pressured to say. Now, American history is not just a timeline of presidents and wars. It's also slavery, Reconstruction, it's Jim Crow, it's redlining. It's a long fight for voting rights and civil rights. It's labor history, women's history, and the story of immigrants who built this country. If we only teach the easy parts, we're not protecting students, we're cheating them. Now, we can love our country and still tell the truth about it. Pride and honesty can exist in the same classroom. When we sanitize the past, we do two things. We dismiss the lived experience of many Cleveland County families, and we send every student into adulthood with a weaker civic understanding. Now, you can't make sense of the present if you're not allowed to study the past, honestly. So I have a few specific requests for this board here tonight. First of all, I ask the board to state plainly that Cleveland County Schools will teach a full and accurate history aligned to state standards without political filtering in either direction. Second, I asked for transparency. Let's put course materials in reading lists where parents can see them in context with teacher input. Third, protect your educators and your teachers. Teachers should not fear discipline for teaching established history or assigning primary sources. Fourth, let's consider a public forum on curriculum and academic freedom with classroom teachers, parents, and community voices at the table. Now, this is not about blaming teachers. It's about whether we're willing to teach the truth with care. Thank y'all.
Thank you, Mr. Powell. Next is Jenny Ross.
I'm going to start off by reading. This is North Carolina General Statute, Article 33C, 143-318.9. This is meetings of public bodies. Whereas the public bodies that administer the legislative, policy-making, quasi-judicial, administrative, and advisory functions in North Carolina and its political subdivisions exist solely to conduct the people's business, it is the public policy of North Carolina that the hearings, deliberations, and actions of these bodies be conducted openly. Further, the Cleveland County Board of Education's policy manual in Board Policy 2320 says that you affirm the public policy of the state that hearings, deliberations, and actions of public bodies be conducted openly. You may not have set out with the intent of violating that law by having small group meetings last week to discuss Marian School, but you're in a very legal gray area. Asheville City Council was doing the same thing, where they would have small groups that did not meet a majority, so they did not have to take minutes or give public notice or allow the public to attend, and they were sued. And that court case is still outstanding, and the North Carolina Appellate Court is in the process of deliberating on that. That is exactly what happened here last week. Exactly the same thing. When the board had meetings where you didn't have a majority, so you didn't have to include the public or take minutes or let the public know that it was happening, but you got together to deliberate about Marian School. Further, the restrictions that were referenced in the last meeting, I had multiple people that I spoke with that have requested those restrictions, and they were not provided. As they were told, they do not yet exist. And again, I think it is just completely unconscionable that we would still be thinking about putting the sale of Marian School back on the agenda when nobody on this board has seen the full restrictions that are supposed to make that sale legal. And I'm not sure, but I was also told that before the last meeting, the attorney was calling board members to ask how they were going to vote. And that's very curious that that was happening before the last meeting, and then it was taken off the agenda. It's just, you're still eroding the public trust. Everything that you're doing, please, the public is asking for transparency, and we're asking you to answer to us. That's what your job is. Thank you.
Next is Lakeisha Phillips.
Good evening. I'll be really quick. My name is Lakeisha Phillips. I work for Cleveland County Schools, and I want to be very transparent when I say that I'm here not on behalf of any school or any individual, but just for myself and other special education educators, okay? I want to read this first. Grace is gentle, steady hand, a quiet gift we seldom demand. It sees our flaws and yet chooses care. It lifts, restores, and helps us bear. Where patience lives and kindness grows, grace meets the heart and softly slows. That even when we fall astray, love, understanding light the way. Together at Grace, we learn, improve, and continue doing what we care about most. With all that being said, as educators, we often hold ourselves to high standards, sometimes even perfection. Well, I speak for myself when I say that, but I do. But the truth is, we are human, we make mistakes, we learn and we grow, just like the students we serve. There are times when mistakes happen knowingly, and there are times when they never come from a place of harm or disrespect. But from being human in a demanding emotional profession, this is especially true for special education teachers. So tonight I just ask you to give some special education teachers grace, support, and check on us, because we are overwhelmed. We do have a lot of going on, and we do have some challenging kids. Okay? Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Ms. Phillips. All right. That's all the public speakers I have. Next will be our board comments. Fisher, Mr. Blanton.
Yes, sir. Well, I couldn't get to talk a while ago, so I guess I'll talk now. A few years back, I got censored for 90 days because I said somebody should be held accountable. And I got censored by 90 days by a few board members. I'm not calling no names tonight. Everybody knows who they were. And I couldn't participate in quite a few things. One thing was dear to my heart, that I couldn't participate, because I was told that I went to the press and said that somebody should be held accountable. Well, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. We've had another board member to go to the media. And I think that he needs to be censored. We had a few board members to go to our attorney to have a letter wrote up to censor us, which was really against the law, because I have my free right as long as I'm not operating by the board, or as I have that right. Anybody has that right if you're not going on the side of the board. But I got censored. And there's another board member got censored, but I'm not speaking for him. I'm speaking for myself. I want the people to understand that. But right here is where a board member went to the media. And what's good for the goose is good for the gander. And I'm making a motion. I want to make a motion that he be censored, or our attorney to draw up a set of papers I'll be on and bring it back to the board and let us address that issue. We can do it in closed session, we can do it in open session, or whatever. But I feel like that there was a policy put in place that it's the chair and our superintendent is the one that talks to the media about issues in our schools. Yep, there's a policy put in place, or ethics. They say I broke ethics and this, that, and the other. So I'm asking the board to ask our attorney to bring something up to censoring. And if we need to bring back a recording, I think we got it available for what our lawyer came up and said, what her belief was. If she'd like to step up, okay. But I'd like immediate action done on that.
You done?
Do I need to say any more?
I'm going to address some things but no. Mr. Humphries.
I'm good.
Well, I'd let
Mr.
him talk a little bit.
Mr. Lefferts.
I'd just like to say welcome to our board meeting. We had one of excellent meetings tonight. It was good to hear the young man speak on his intern experience. It's good to hear these kids at sing the way they can sing. Now, boy, I tell you, if I could sing like that, ooh-wee, wouldn't I be good? But they did an excellent job. It's good to see our schools start back. I know that the kids are grateful that these tests are over with. I know that these teachers are grateful that this test is over with. So I'm just thankful that we've got the people that we've got, and we've got the things that are taking place. That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Ledford. Ms. Sherman?
Yes, I'd like to agree with Mr. Ledford, all the accomplishments and people that came tonight. Dr. Parker, the recognition, honors chorus, I mean, I could hear their voices right here, and they were beautiful. And for a few minutes, I thought I was like actually at a concert in a fancy place. So that was congratulations to those students and all the hard work that their teachers put in. And the Cleveland Calculates, I'd like to also thank Albemarle. We continually hear how much support we have from them and many, many other agencies and companies in Cleveland County, and they do. At the end of the year, when we go to the recognition banquet of the Cleveland County Educational Foundation for the scholars, all those things, it's just great, and it takes so many people. And then, of course, the student that spoke tonight with the drones, they just so proud of that and all the many things. I also would like to speak to the teachers that are out there working so hard every day in your classrooms, the teacher assistants, all the support personnel in your schools. You are the ones that are making it happen. We're providing you support as best we can. Please reach out to me anytime. Know that I do totally understand what you're going through. January is it's a hard month because Christmas is over, but here you have to find a way to pump the kids back up again for the end of the year and to excel. So I just don't want to let our teachers think that we are not totally behind you and understand, because you're the ones that make all this happen. And we get to see it when it's over and when the success is there. So thank you, school administrators and all the people that make your schools run. It takes a lot to do that. You make it look easy, but it's not real easy. And you do a great job. So thank you to our staff.
Thank you, Ms. Sherman. Mr. Brick?
Well, I want to say that I'm proud of Shelby and Crest for bringing home the trophies. I didn't hear anybody mention that tonight, so I wanted to mention it. They did a great job this year, and hopefully they can come back and do a great job next year. The kids that were here tonight, they put on an amazing show, and it just shows you guys what our teachers and staff are actually doing with our kids. Dr. Parker, I appreciate you bringing all this to us. It was an outstanding program, and I want to thank each and every one of you. The other thing I want to say is I've missed our school visits this year, so I want to make a recommendation to the superintendent. I do want to go visit Bowling Springs Elementary in the coming week, and I think I'm supposed to let you know, so I'm just going ahead and putting that out there to you. Had a parent want me to come over, so I would like to make that trip in this coming week. Other than that, that's all I got.
Mr. Bridges?
I just want to say, it's hard to believe we're in the second semester of this school year. It's going by pretty fast. I wanted to take a moment just to tell Ms. Phillips that I appreciate what our special ed teachers do. I appreciate the hard work that you put in. Not just special ed, but all of our teachers also. So I just, we can't have a school system without our teachers. And if I could get all of them a huge raise, I would. I think they do a great job here in Cleveland County. We appreciate you. We couldn't do it without you. And I also want to commend our programs. As we spoke earlier, we have 200 students that are interning. That's a great opportunity for our students. There's just a lot of good things that go on with Cleveland County Schools. Our partnership with the college. We've got numerous kids that leave here They leave Cleveland County Schools and they have their high school diploma and their associates. And I mean, it's just a phenomenal thing that we offer. A lot of good things going on in the school system. I appreciate all of our staff and students and also teachers. And I also want to commend the finance department. I chair that committee. And I think that, you know, we had an audit, they found nothing. So I just want to tell Rob, I appreciate what you guys do. Job well done. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bridges. Change my mind. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Mr. Bridges, do I have a second? Mr., all in favor? All right, we're adjourned.